Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. It is November 13th, 2025, and I'm back with another read out of the 13 original Clan Mothers book by Jamie Sams. Today we are reading the chapter called Setting Sun Woman, the Clan Mother of the Ninth Moon. Setting Sun Woman is the keeper of tomorrow's goals and dreams. She is the clan mother of the ninth moon cycle, which falls in September and is connected to the color green. Green is the color of will. Setting Sun Woman shows us how to properly use our wills to ensure the abundance of the future. She teaches us that the will to live, the will to survive, the will to be impeccable in preserving the Earth Mother's resources are paramount parts of our Earth walk. This clan mother teaches us how to live the truth and sits in the west of the medicine wheel. The west direction is the home of the feminine principle, the Earth Mother, the setting sun, and night sky. The abilities we gain from learning the lessons of the West are concern, dependability, nurturing, inner knowing, achievements, and goals. The West is sometimes called the looking within place because the feminine principle is naturally intuitive and is willing to be receptive. As the guardian of unborn generations, Setting Sun Woman gives us many lessons on how to use only what we need. She teaches us the sacredness of using every part of anything we harvest, never wasting anything usable. This ninth clan mother shows us how we can depend upon the Earth Mother to provide for our needs if we are also dependable children who honor and give thanks for that abundance. She shows us how to provide for the next 7 generations by saving seeds for next year's planting. She is the keeper of preservation and the guardian of all species of seeds, plants, creatures, and stones. She guards against the extinction of any part of our planetary family by allowing those species that would naturally transmute to evolve into the forms that are more adapted to the world's conditions. Setting Sun Woman teaches us how to go within and find our personal truths. This clan mother shows us how to meet the future without fear because we have taken steps daily to ensure a bright tomorrow. The darkness of the night sky is the starry medicine bowl, or womb of the feminine principle that holds all of the potential of our future. The stars are points of light that represent the sacred fire of our dreams. When we find our personal truths in the darkness inside ourselves, we determine which visions we will bring to earth in manifested form. Setting Sun Woman walks with us across the Milky Way, which is comprised of the campfires of the ancestors. When we travel with her, we rediscover the ancient truths of preservation and inner knowing that guided those who walked the red road before us. Through Setting Sun Woman, we rediscover the universe as it lives inside our spiritual essences. This discovery of worlds within worlds teaches us that we are not our bodies, but that we are vast beings and that our bodies exist inside of the limitless space of our orendas, or spiritual essences. Evening Star, Promise of Tomorrow. Setting Sun Woman sat on a cliff overlooking the ocean, peering at the tide pools below. The tide pools nestled in the jagged rocks housed hundreds of life forms that sent reflections of bright colors up through the water when touched by the sun. Grandfather Sun's light was strong because he had nearly reached the zenith of his path across Sky Nation. The smell of salty brine and washed up ocean plants permeated Setting Sun Woman's senses, and she took a deep breath to fill her lungs with salty air. The rhythms of the tides soothed her senses with an occasional crashing wave, bringing her thoughts home to her heart. The path down the cliff to the water's edge was one she had traveled many times, but in her present reflective mood, she preferred the expansive view from high above the sea. She had passed many winters in her earth walk and had learned much about having a human body. Still, she was fascinated by the feelings she could touch inside herself when she sought the ocean's shore. The waves, moving to the sand and running back to the sea in an endless rhythm, were like gentle fingers caressing her spirit, filling her with a sense of well-being. A vulture circled the cliff to her right, giving her a memory of how he had come to find his mission on the earth, although he was not very pleasing to those who feared death. He carried important medicine in the clan mother's understanding. Vulture was a good teacher for the children of Earth because he wasted nothing. He picked the bones of those who had dropped their robes or died, leaving no part to rot. Vulture was happy with his medicine, which taught the children of Earth the idea of waste not, want not. Setting Sun Woman followed her memory to another time, recalling one of her greatest lessons, which had changed the course of her sacred path. She reflected on that other time as her thoughts drifted like the tides into that memory. The dense forest gave way to a rolling set of hills that were covered in wild flowers of every color, proudly showing their little faces above the deep emerald blanket of clover that covered the Earth Mother's sensuous form. Setting Sun Woman was standing on the crest of a hill, looking to the west, waiting for Grandfather Sun's light to fade as the pipe was passed to the evening sky and Grandmother Moon. It was a time of stillness when the little flowers began to nod, some closing their petals, making ready for the rest. The brilliant colors of sunset were fading to pastels, giving the hills far off near the southern horizon robes of deep purple to cover them while they slept. In the distance, Setting Sun Woman could hear Frog singing his medicine song, signaling to all listening that it was time to cleanse the activities of this sun in order to refresh and replenish themselves during the coming sleep. The clan mother could smell the marshy vapors of the pond down in the meadow as the cooling soil wafted the Earth Mother's perfume her way. Frog was not singing his rain song, and the Cloud People had traveled to other camps in their Sky Nation home. The sky would be clear during this sleep, and the earth would be alive with all her children who sought the darkness to hunt or prowl. Wata Jis, the evening star, would soon poke her head through the purple sage blossom blanket of the night sky. Setting Sun Woman always relished the moment when her sister Wata Jis appeared, signaling the emergence of the starry medicine bowl in all of its glory. When the Star Nation came awake after sleeping during the brightness of Grandfather Sun's journey across the sky, Setting Sun Woman could see the forms of some of her totems outlined in the sacred fire of the stars. Bear lumbered across the Sky Nation while the world slept, teaching everyone his medicine. In the darkness, he reminded the children of Earth to go within, reflecting and introspecting. His raw strength and huge form spoke of the benefits of retreat and hibernation. The mountain ram also traveled the heavens, traversing the peaks and valleys of purple space. This big-horned sheep was the keeper of tenacity and the willingness to meet challenges head on. The medicines of these two creature teachers had served Setting Sun Woman well during her earth walk, and she anxiously sought the star forms of these totems, returning her thanks to them every time the inky darkness covered the sky. Setting Sun Woman came from her thoughts, peering at the place in the sky where Watajias would appear. She raised her voice in song, sending her heartfelt welcome to the star she called sister. And I don't think I'm saying this correctly. And she's singing a song. Haine, haine, watajis. Haine, haine, watajis. Yatahe, yatahe. Dewe, no de, no way. Dewe, no de, no way. Watajis, watajis. Greetings, greetings, evening star. Greetings, greetings, evening star. I greet the fire spirit in you. We are sisters, you and I. We are sisters, you and I. Evening star, evening star. As Setting Sun Woman finished her song, Watajis's fiery face poked through the night sky's robe, twinkling with fiery light. The clan mother was always in awe of the evening star's sparkling form, but on this night, Setting Sun Woman saw a spirit canoe moving on a river of fog, coming toward the earth. The clan mother was always in awe of the evening star's sparkling form, but on this night, Setting Sun Woman saw a spirit canoe moving on a river of fog, coming toward the earth. The blue streak of light from Watajis lit the crests of the fog river's waves, rocking the canoe until it slid to the earth at Setting Sun Woman's feet. The luminous form of the canoe was made of milky moonlight and opalescent star fire. Setting Sun Woman saw that no one was paddling the spirit canoe and wondered if she should get inside. She peered over the canoe's edge, looking into the bottom, and discovered a child laced inside a cradleboard, nestled in white fur robes, peering back at her. The baby smiled and looked directly into the clan mother's eyes. Setting Sun Woman realized that this was no ordinary child and finally found her voice. "Thank you for being," she said, formally greeting the child in the cradleboard. "Thank you for being," she said. The child replied by smiling and then spoke. "I am the child of tomorrow, Setting Sun Woman. I have come in this spirit canoe sent by the evening star. I have traveled on the trail of campfires lit by the ancestors that some children of Earth will one day call the Milky Way. I have come to show you the hidden feelings of future that you hold in your heart." Setting Sun Woman was standing in the stillness, noticing that the sounds of the night creatures had ceased. She took a breath and then asked, "What shall I call you?" "I am Watajis, the evening star, your sister." Setting Sun Woman saw the twinkle in the girl child's ebony eyes and was filled with an inner knowing that relaxed her. She could see that this child was a gift from the starry medicine bowl and that there was only loving intent in the child's eyes. The child began speaking again as the clan mother listened. "I am wrapped in the cradleboard of creation, Mother. If you are willing to carry me on your back, you will begin to understand the many purposes of your earth walk. I am the promise of all the tomorrows that will ever be." the children. I am the promise of all the tomorrows that will ever be. All dreams of wholeness and harmony are embodied in me. I represent every spirit that will travel from the breath of the great mystery to the womb of creation, called the starry medicine bowl, and then to the earth to be born as a human two-legged. Setting Sun Woman reached into the spirit canoe and lifted the cradleboard of creation with care. Gently, she pulled the harness across her shoulders and settled the child securely on her back before she spoke. Watajes, I thank you for coming to be my teacher. What do you want me to do now? A giggle escaped the tiny girl's lips, and then she replied, We are going to play a kind of game, Mother. Do you notice that you cannot see me, but that my weight is like a reminder, always present, but not seen? Why, yes, it does seem that way. I can already see that the children of the future are like that. I cannot see them because they have not been born, but I always consider their needs. They will need food, shelter, fire, water, air, fertile soil, and the companionship of all their relations. Watajes continued, pleased with the clan mother's quick reasoning. Mother, what senses must you use when you cannot see me? I must hear your voice, feel your weight, smell the fragrance of your sweet hair, and allow my body to align with your rhythms, anticipating your movements so that we can walk in balance as I carry your cradleboard. Watajes smiled. Those are the same abilities that human children of Earth must develop in order to prepare for the future, Mother. They must sense the weight of future generations' needs in order to find harmony and balance now. If they waste the precious resources of the Earth Mother, there will not be an abundant future for the generations yet unborn. As the human tribe learns to carry the cradleboard of creation as an unseen part of themselves, there will be no separation between the present and the future. All that is needed for survival on the good red road will naturally be there, because everyone alive today will take responsibility for the needs of the next 7 generations. Setting Sun Woman asked, Evening Star, what if some members of the human tribe forget these teachings? Unfortunately, that time will come, Mother. The medicine of elk will give the persistence and stamina needed for the faithful to continue guarding the needs of future generations. We may also call upon the medicine of opossum to assist the faithful in planning and strategy. Two-leggeds must be flexible and willing to grow and change for the future. The needs of some will be confused with the desires of others to own material possessions. Some will adopt greed and wish to control the masses. Every human being will have the opportunity to meet those challenges by rediscovering inner knowing. The solution will fall into your hands. You are the clan mother of the West, who can assist the meek and faithful children of Earth by showing them how to go within. Setting Sun Woman agreed with Watajes and added her own thoughts. I noticed that you were nestled in the snowy fur robes of the great white bear. Those robes are very sacred to me. The bear has taught me how to enter the cave inside myself and to find my own truths. Through those lessons, I am able to live my truth every sun and sleep. If every child of Earth could find that same inner knowing, we would assure the future generations of a legacy of harmony and life abundant. That's right, Mother. We could also teach them the lessons of the humpbacked traveler of the deserts. Camel shares his medicine of conservation and proper use of resources, even in situations of scarcity. One of the gifts of inner knowing is knowing how and when to use available resources. The bear lives on stored fat when she hibernates. The camel lives on stored water when he travels the deserts. And the human tribe lives abundantly when they gather and eat just what they need. Setting Sun Woman understood the lessons of preparing for tomorrow. The resources of the Earth Mother would abundantly serve the children of Earth if they learned to conserve them. Mother, you know that I am the evening star, but did you know that I am the promise of tomorrow because I am also the morning star during 6 moon cycles? Setting Sun Woman was startled by Wadagis's revelation. Why, no, I did not know that, she said. I become the morning star and ride the currents of the sunlit morning sky. For 8 days during the 13th moon cycles, the 13 moon cycles, I am not seen in morning or evening. It is during that time that I go into the void of the great medicine bowl of the night sky to be reborn. I travel the sacred spiral of the 8 powers, visiting the east, southeast, south, southwest, west, northwest, north, and northeast. I live for one sun and sleep in each of those directions, learning the steps of transformation that will teach me how to change my path and focus. The sacred spiral leads from one medicine wheel of experience to another. If we were to look at a wheel lying on the ground and another one a few feet directly above it in the same position, we would see 2 different circles of experience. The void in between the two is made of thin air, but there is an imaginary spiral of steps formed by each direction's lessons. All life forms walk those spiral stairs when they are ready to evolve into their next set of life's experiences. Setting Sun Woman thought a moment and then said, Are you saying that each flower that buds and blooms and then sheds its petals would, at the end of its cycle, then go through 8 suns and sleeps of lessons before moving to its next experience? Yes. The spiritual essence of every living thing moves through that sacred spiral for 8 suns and sleeps before beginning the next life cycle. It can be a time of reviewing the past, counting the lessons learned and the victories achieved. It can be a time of preparation and planning, as well as a time of saying goodbye to the past and greeting the future. Many of the human tribe forget this period of completion, reaching their next set of life's experiences either unprepared or out of balance. They encounter many difficulties when they do not honor the void and the sacred spiral. Watagis, when you go through the sacred spiral, what happens to you? I reconnect to my Orenda and let go of the past by being grateful for all that I have learned. I see the spiral around me because I am in the center of my sacred space, but I also see the steps formed by each direction of the spiral inside of myself. In the night sky, as the evening star, I am living the feminine side of my nature. In the void of the spiral, I am all and nothing, pure spirit. After 8 days, as the morning star, I live the masculine, demonstrative side of my nature. The directions of the 8 powers inside the spiral teach me that I am both feminine and masculine. When I ride the night sky, I go within and seek the truth of my free will and my will to show my gifts to the world. As the morning star, I bring all those personal truths to light, sharing what I am with all those who seek the breaking dawn. Setting Sun Woman understood both sides of our natures are present in your journey. The west direction is the feminine and the east is the masculine. In the absence of the 8 suns and sleeps when you are not seen in the Sky Nation, you show humankind the way to connect to the Orenda. Your lesson to humankind is how to balance the female, the male, and divine energy of the great mystery that lives in all things. Is it not? That's important. Oh my God, I'm getting. That part's really important. Your lesson to humankind is how to balance the female, male, and divine energy of the great mystery that lives in all things. Yes, I also show the infinite possibilities found in the number 8. When humankind develops the understanding of how the spirit world and the tangible world form 2 medicine wheels, they will find that the 2 are really one infinite set of lessons. Setting Sun Woman saw the goodness the great mystery had placed in every part of creation and was thankful that her role in the expansive plan had brought Wada Jis into her path. The cradle board of creation not only held the potential of the unborn children of all tomorrows, but also had given every child the ability to express a female and a male side no matter what gender the child's body was. All of her human children would be able to express their personal wills because all children of Earth carried the potential to be guided by their Owendas. Like Wada Jis, the evening star, the promise of tomorrow lived inside each and every human being. The Earth tribe could be assured of a bright future by balancing both sides of their natures with the spiritual essence that connected them to their infinite capacity to create tomorrow by living in harmony today. Setting Sun Woman felt Wada Jis shift her weight in the cradle board and release a little sigh. The clan mother gently removed the cradle board and rocked Wada Jis in her arms for a moment. The child's eyes were fluttering and growing heavy. Setting Sun Woman smiled, noting that even the child, woven of starlight, needed sleep. She kissed the child's cheek and silently promised to keep the lessons she had learned close to her heart. The sleep man had sprinkled sand over the baby's eyes, sending her into the realms of happy dreams. Setting Sun Woman tucked the cradle board into the robes of the great white bear, nestled in the bottom of the spirit canoe. Before stepping back, the clan mother slipped a sleeping wildflower into the baby's lacing, trusting that the fragrance would fill the child's dreams and senses with memories of their time together. Slowly, the spirit canoe was lifted by moonlit hands formed of the starshine coming from the evening star. The spirit canoe entered the river of light and vanished into the night sky, leaving Setting Sun Woman feeling wistful. Wistful. Okay. I lost my place. There we are. She perceived the sounds of her night-traveling creatures as they started to prowl again. The occasional hoots and howls of her nocturnal children comforted her and gave her a sense of company. As the clan mother turned to walk toward the lodge she had built on the edge of the forest, she saw a white reflection out of the corner of her eye. She turned and faced the direction of the light. There was the robe of the great white bear resting on the clover and wildflowers, a gift from Wada Jis. Setting Sun Woman lifted the robe and placed it across her shoulders, shedding tears of joy with gratitude. She looked to the place in the sky where Wada just had been before. The fiery light of the evening star sparkled in recognition and then disappeared and reappeared as if reminding the clan mother of both sides of its nature. Receiving and giving were both sacred ways of finding balance. Meeting the future needs of the next 7 generations depended on the ability to go within and walk in balance every living moment. The robe of the great white bear of the West represented the spirit of all species of bears on the planet. Setting Sun Woman would always remember the lessons found in Bear's Cave and would nestle in the white fur robe every time she retreated into herself. That special memory had carried Setting Sun Woman through many troubling seasons as the children of Earth had weathered the greed in some human hearts. She well, okay then. Whew. That special memory had carried Setting Sun Woman through many troubling seasons as the children of Earth had weathered the greed in some human hearts. She felt the ocean breeze on her bare arms and thought of how the bright-colored finned ones swimming in the tide pools below were the colors of the whirling rainbow of peace. The common goal of the Earth Tribe was to reclaim the legacy of harmony and peace that the Great Mystery placed inside all life forms. The common goal of the Earth Tribe was to reclaim the legacy of harmony and peace that the Great Mystery placed inside all life forms. Inner peace is found inside the self. Setting Sun Woman gazed at the horizon where the ocean met the sky and gave thanks for the human children who had rediscovered the looking within place. The keeper of tomorrow's dreams was drawn from her thoughts as Walrus waddled onto the beach below and croaked a greeting. Setting Sun Woman laughed because she had just been sternly reminded not to allow negativity to slip into her thoughts regarding the future. Walrus is the creature teacher who reminds humans of the cycles and changes in life. This big tusked creature of the ocean's edge carries the medicine of altering actions and feelings in order to interact with the changes life offers. Setting Sun Woman understood. It was time to keep her eyes on the goal, not on the waywardness of the human tribe. Their growth is by trial and error. Sooner or later, all human two-leggeds will seek to understand their feelings and find the cave of Bear. The sea's tides change with the passage of suns and sleeps, the seasons, Grandmother Moon's cycles, and weather. The clan mother saw how the waters of the Earth Mother reflect the human journey as well. When the human tribe allows the flow of life to set the rhythm, like the tides, instead of fighting each new wave of experience, harmony is found through subtle adjustments. The pounding waves of stormy seas that wreck the shoreline reflect the imbalance found in human stubbornness and rigidity. Setting Sun Woman understood that the natural examples of worlds within worlds are endless reflections of how to live in harmony. She looked forward to the day when this same inner knowing would be claimed by all her human children. Grandfather Sun was putting the light to rest, painting the sky with the colors of harvest leaves. Setting Sun Woman watched until the flaming mass of his pumpkin-like body touched the horizon, sinking into the sea. She was feeling the stillness of eventide when she heard the Wind Chief hiss, as if the fire of Grandfather Sun's body had melded with the waters of the Earth Mother, signaling invisible smoke so that the sacred pipe had been passed from day to night. The sunbeams that had carried the human words of thanksgiving to the great mystery during the day were now giving that sacred duty over to the beams of light coming from the starry medicine bowl of the night sky. Setting Sun Woman stood and raised her arms to the Sky Nation and returned thanks for all that she had experienced during that sun. She greeted the falling robe of the night sky and imagined the cradle board of creation resting in her hands, being offered to the heavens. Wadajis appeared, as if to receive the cradle board from Setting Sun Woman's outstretched arms. The clan mother felt the bond of sisterhood between herself and the evening star. That bond was forever strong because it was woven with love and made of the fibers of tomorrow's promises. That concludes the reading of this chapter, and I'll see you on the next one, everybody.